Hey folks, welcome back to another Palm Master video, and with the new, I guess not that new anymore. It's been what, 2 days or so. But with the new Psychic and Poison type egg event out now with the new Pokemon and stuff. Let's talk about them and see which ones are maybe worth investing into or not, right? So, anyways, this batch actually has some like really solid Eggmons, right? So that's pretty fun. So let's get into this. So starting with the Abras. So the first one being Support Abra. Support Abra is actually pretty decent, honestly, right? Or Alakazam. Support Abra has X attack all, right? So, you know, obviously attack, right? And then you have Let's Brainstorm, which raises special attack and speed for all allied sync pairs. Here's the part that I don't like about Support Abra is the support part of this Abra. I like everything else. The support, I mean, it's not bad, right? It's just that there really aren't that many like mixed strikers in the game. Obviously, this is, you know, sort of built more so for mixed strikers. If you're using more of a dedicated, physical or special striker, maybe it's not the best support, right? But yeah, there are certain units I could use that, like a Dragonite or whatever, right? Zapdos maybe. Don't have Dauntless, right? So there's that, and the really great thing that I do like about it is it has Zen Headbutt and Light Screen, both very useful moves outside of the support moves. Usually, a lot of support Eggmons have like, you know, decent support moves, and I'm not saying the Alakazam one is bad, right? It's not bad, but then like they just have like potato moves for like the other two that are like kind of useless, but all four of these moves are useful, right? Zen Headbutt, you can flinch with that. Light Screen is obviously, you know, Light Screen reduce some special damage into your team, which is nice. So yeah, with Unflappable, Antitoxin, Flameproof. Thing about this batch of support Eggmons is this batch of support Eggmons defense stats aren't really that great, right? You really can't tank with it. Unfortunately, right? If check like the HP 467 and then 140 when on defenses, not the best, right? And speed not that great either. Like everything else, like, this is a very good moveset. Like this is, you know, one of the better movesets in terms of supports. The stats aren't that great, and the passives. I'm not saying the passives are bad. The passives are good, but the passives don't match the stats, right? They don't really help, you know, the over there, because if you are running this Alakazam, you're tanking with something else. You're not tanking with this Alakazam, right? So it kind of sort of invalidates a lot of those the paths. I'm not saying they're not useful, but they'd be much more useful if it was a tank instead, right? So that being said, I'd probably put it in like the third tier, right? Not a terrible investment, but extremely niche, right? So moving on to Shiny Alakazam. Tech Shiny Alakazam. So this one's pretty decent. This one's pretty decent, right? So it has Foul Fighting 1, Aggravation 1, and Unflappable. And it has really good stats too, right? This is what, 570 HP. 120 on defenses aren't that great, but it does have 306 speed, which is fantastic, right? So it has some really good stuff. It has X regen for starters, right? So you could, you know, regen your whole team, which is, you know, always really good. Hang in there, which raises your own defenses, and then, you know, that's another regen for yourself. They don't stack, by the way. Zen Headbutt and Psybeam. So I got Aggravation 1 on both Zen Headbutt and Psybeam. So it depends, you know, on what striker you're using. You know, you use different moves, right? If you're using a striker that needs Harry 3, you go with Zen Headbutt. Something, you know, some striker that needs the opponent to be confused, you go for that, right? Or just in general, if you know, if their striker has like Foul Fighting, you just throw out, you know, this Tech Alakazam in there, can do a lot of good stuff. It's not a liability speed wise, right? Very good in terms of speed, and yeah, regen, right? The only thing is Charon. I do think this is better than Charon as it is right now, but Charon could potentially get a sync grid probably 2-3 months later, right? So I would also keep that in mind, right? So there's that, but in general, this not bad, definitely not bad, right? I would say this is much better than the support one, plus it's shiny, so there's that. Anyways, moving on to Striker Alakazam. Striker Alakazam is really great, I think, right? So I mean, it's not like as good as Striker Scyther, right? But it's still decent. It's usable. It has Power Reserve 2, Super Duper Effective 1, Unflappable, And then as for its offensive stats, 275 special attack, not the best over there, right? 446 HP and 234 speed. It has really good defenses. Not that great HP, not the best special attack, and not the best speed, right? Unfortunately, like the downside over here is the stats again, right? They just keep on giving like the tech units like really good stats, and like everything else, the supports and strikers in this batch, not that great stats. Zen Headbutt, X special attack, Erasue, which is speed and crit, right? And Psychic. So this is like very good moveset. Does get held back a bit by its stats, unfortunately, but everything else is definitely really nice. I'll probably put it here as well, right? Moving on, let's talk about the executes or executors, right? So first of all, support executor, paralysis prevention, natural remedy, quick cure. Again, the stats just aren't that great for tanking, so these aren't really, they don't synergize too well with the stats. Confusion X defense, stand together, and Giga Drain, right? Stand together raises defense and speed of all allies. And X defense. This is straight up just not good. This is just probably like the worst of all these, right? So yeah, that's not really good. Moving on to Tech Executor. Tech Executor is probably the best Eggmon in this batch, right? It's very powerful. But here's the other thing about Tech Executor. You don't really need it if you have like an equivalent, right? Because there are a lot of units that do the same thing as this Tech Executor. So if you have them, then you don't really need it. But if you don't, this is a really good investment. So as a paralysis prevention, again, Troublemaker 1, and then Stamina Reserves 2. So the passives are kind of except for Troublemaker 1, which is very good because it has Hypnosis. And it has very good speed. Good speed, Hypnosis, X speed, Confusion as well, right, if you need that. The defenses with Hang in there. This is a fantastic sleep unit, right? This is a fantastic sleep unit. 100%, put your opponents to sleep with Hypnosis. Again, the only thing about this is we've had quite a few, Hypnosis units already. Obviously not all of them has Troublemaker, right? Tech Venusaur has Troublemaker. I think something else had Troublemaker as well. I can't remember exactly what it was. But yeah, Tech Venusaur is like the big one there, right? And if you already rolled Troublemaker on Agatha, or if you already rolled Troublemaker on Ramos, then you don't need this either, right? Or if you have Serena, then you don't need this. But if you don't, this is a very good investment, because the 100% chance to put your opponent to sleep is just it's just completely broken in this game, right? And I don't know why they just keep on giving these out like candy, because it's like once you learn how to time it right, and then again, the timing is different for different stages, right? For those asking, but yeah, it's incredibly broken. Like, yeah, this is easily the best one. Unfortunately, it's not any of the shinies, but oh well. Can we just get like can we get like a shiny Troublemaker Hypnosis Pokemon in the future? Like, so far, like all those Troublemaker Hypnosis or Sleep Powder or whatever's have not been shiny, unfortunately. But yeah, it's definitely really good. Moving on to Striker Executor, Power Reserve 2, Super Duper Effective 1, Paralysis Prevention, Confusion, Dire Hit, Hang in there, and Seed Bomb. It's not bad. Obviously, you do need a support with this one, right? Because you don't have any physical attack buffs. But it's just solid, right? Again, the other downside is the stats, right? Overall, not the best, right, in terms of this batch. But the moveset is fine. It is much better than a lot of the past strikers that we've seen. Anyways, moving on to I was looking at the wrong one. I was wondering when did it lose like 10 or so attack? No, that's Executor. This is Executor. Anyways, yeah. So moving on to the Grimers. So the first one is the Shiny Grimers, the support Grimers. The support Grimers Again, kind of sort of suffer from the same, stat issues as all the other ones, so it can't really be a tank, right? It does have first aid too, so that definitely helps a bit, right? Tighten up is nice as well. Like, I'd say this is probably the best support, right? Gives you special defense, speed, and special attack. Has sludge, moderate chance of poisoning the opponent, right? And then Venoshock. Like, this is solid. I keep on looking at like the pre-evolutions page, but yeah, this is solid. This is solid. Yeah, I can't really say anything like terrible about it, I guess. So yeah, probably over there, maybe a bit lower. I'd say like between these two, Alexam is a bit more useful overall. It's just that like there are just so many supports out there, right? But again, objectively, it's good. It's good, right? Anyways, moving on to Techmuk. Techmuk, we have Antitoxin, Hostile Environment 1, and Dirty Fighting 1. So, Hostile Environment, which is increased chance of poisoning with Sludge or paralyzing with Body Slam. And then also has X Speed and Hang in there, right? Here's the issue with this Tech Grimer. You can't apply both Poison and Paralysis onto your opponent at the same time. You can't do that. Unlike, Alexam, you could do both, right? Not that it's very effective. I mean, if you flinch something, it doesn't really, help you a lot if it's confused. But it does help you in the cases where you need to get the opponents flinched or confused or whatever, right? This one doesn't help as much, but it still has, like, really, like, it's, again, solid stats, good, trainer move, X speed, all that stuff is nice. It's not as good as Tech Alexam, but it's not as, like, it's not like as bad that I put it like into like one tier lower in terms of investment. Like it's good, and I don't think anything else in the game gives you both paralysis and poison, right? Not that I could remember off the top of my head. So it's not terrible. It's not terrible, I guess. It's not guaranteed though. Like if you want to like actually paralyze someone, like you just use Vileplume. It's a guaranteed paralysis, right? Or Meowstick, right? If poison, you got a much better chance with wheezing. But if you want to do both on the same unit, again, very, very niche. It just depends on the stage, right? If there's one stage that you like need to paralyze the opponents first, and then after that the opponent goes down, then you have to like poison the next one or whatever. Okay, you're right, but it's just kind of niche. But it's like in between these two, I guess. But like there's just one. I don't really want to like open up another tier for that. I say that, but I put them up here. But this is just clearly one step above everything else. Moving on to Striker Grimer / Muck. So this one has Sludge Bomb, so that's nice. Again, it does suffer from the stat issues. Super Duper Effective 2 is definitely good. Power Reserves 2 is good as well. X Special Attack on my mark. Like this is like very this great move set. Decent passives and just bad stats, right? So in this tier as well. You know what? Now I'm actually kind of seeing an argument for like maybe one more tier in between. Maybe these two could be here, right? Yeah, maybe these two could be here. I guess. Yeah, or maybe even these three. I don't know. It's close enough. Yeah. Yeah, they're decent. They're decent. So, anyways, that's me for this one, I guess. So again, clearly that Tech Executor is easily the best one out of these. But again, you don't really have to invest into it if you already have stuff that if you already have like a Tech Venusaur, right, invested, or if you have Troublemaker Agatha or Troublemaker Weeping Bell, because I do think it's probably in my opinion it's just much less less expensive to invest into like an Eggmon in comparison to like investing in Lucky Cookies, trying to roll for like a lucky skill on those. So if you haven't done either yet, I'd probably recommend going for like an Eggmon instead. But that again, you do kind of sort of run the risk of yo, what if the gosh, I want to say they get a synchro in the future, which I really don't see happening anytime soon. They could, but I don't really see it happening anytime soon, right? But yeah, I mean, the resources for, getting these Eggmons to like a 3-star, they're free. They're free. You get them every egg event. There really isn't that many, powerful Eggmons to invest in them, and so I mean, why not? In comparison to investing in Lucky Skills, which is, in my opinion, much more valuable, right? So especially like Troublemaker. Troublemaker is what, Crunchy Cookie, right? You're just wasting cookies that you could have used for rolling for like Crit Strike 2, right, on your strikers, which would have been much more useful. But anyways, again, that's really this one. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me guys think in the comments down below. Like and enjoy this video, subscribe to my channel for some more Pokemon Masters content, and I'll see you guys in the next one.